Hi. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to look at how to multiply whole numbers. Now I'm not talking about 9 times 6, I'm talking about big numbers like 23 times 46 or even 235 times 764. What we're going to do is we're going to do it by the lattice method. So this might be new, but it might be not. Some people have different names of it, but I call it lattice method. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So I've got 23 times 46. So I'm going to set it all up and then I'll come back and talk. So I've set it up like a box. So you can see I've set 23 and 46. And I've set it all to each of a box. And now I'm going to add something into these boxes. Okay, so what we now need to do is look at each of the units, digits I should say, not units, and multiply each of them where they meet. So what I'll show you is, in the box where you can see 2 and 4 would meet, you're going to multiply 2 by 4. 2 by 4 is 8. So 2 times 4 is 8, so I put a 0 in the top left and an 8 in the bottom right of that little box. Now I'm going to do 3 times 4 and I'm going to get 12. And now I'm going to do 3 times 6 and get 18. And 2 times 6 and get 12. Now what we need to do is add up these columns. Now this is a bit more tricky because you kind of need to see them. You need to add up within the diagonal lines, okay? So what I'm going to do is hopefully show you where those diagonal lines are. So they continue through the boxes. So the first part of the number is just going to be 8. Because that is the only number below that diagonal line. And now the next digit is going to be all the numbers added together between the next 2 diagonal lines. So it's going to be 2 plus 1 plus 2. And then the next digit is going to be everything between the next 2 diagonal lines, which is 1, 8 and 1. Now 1 plus 8 plus 1 is 10, and just like carrying in the chimney sums, we're going to have to carry. So if it comes out as 10, we take the 0, and carry the 1. And then that means the final digit is going to be everything above that last diagonal line, which is 0 and 1. So 23 times 46 is 1058. So I'll draw out the grid for 512 times 51. So the only thing that's going to be different is you make enough space for the 512 and 51 and it should be fine. So there I've set it all up, and we are just going to fill in all the columns and all the multiplications. So 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 1 is 5, and 2 times 5 is 10. And then the bottom row will be 5 times 1, 1 times 1, and 2 times 1. And now we add up the numbers between the diagonal lines. first thing I did, I've got 2, which is in the first section. And then between those two diagonal lines is just 1. Then between the next two diagonal lines is 5 plus 5 plus 1, which is 11. So I put the 1 down and I carry 1, 10. Then I get 5 plus 1 is 6. And then 2 is just 2. Okay? So last one, a bit more complicated, but not really. It's the same method, but it's just a 3 by 3 number. So there we go, set up. So the first row is going to be 2 times 7, 3 times 7, 5 times 7. The next row is going to be 2 times 6, 3 times 6, 5 times 6. And the last row is going to be 2 times 4, 3 times 4, 5 times 4. And now we can add up all the numbers within the diagonal lines. So I got 0 because there's nothing in the lowest diagonal. Then 2 plus 2 gives me 4. 8 plus 1 plus 8 plus 3 plus 5 gives me 25. So the 5 goes in that column and I carry the 2. Then 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 3 gives me 9. No, sorry, 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 3 plus 2 gives me 9. And then 1 plus 4 plus 2 is 7, and then just 1 gives me 1. So 179,540. And if you can remember how to do that, then you can do any multiplication. It's just going to take up more space and take a bit longer. But the method is the same. Okay? So that's multiplication of whole numbers.